Elon students are nationally recognized for their service to the community.
Sophie Nielsen Colding tracked down an alternative place for students to volunteer,
where the recipients of their kindness have 4 legs, wet noses, and endless love.
He's my friend, my best bud.
Blanche Fedor is the kennel manager at Greyhound Friends of North Carolina in Oak Ridge. She brings her dog to work with her every day.
This is Sport, and he's going to be 12 years old in May. And I've had him since he was 18 months old.
But not all dogs are as lucky as Sport. Greyhounds are bred for racing, but when their racing days are over, many of them are put down. GNFC rescues these dogs and takes care of them at the kennel while they look for people who want to adopt.
They're adopted out, hopefully, to their forever homes.
Greyhounds make great pets, one of the reasons being that they're not high maintenance. As you can see, they sleep a lot, about 18 to 20 hours a day.
Greyhounds are very calm, even though people think they have a lot of high energy. They're chow hounds, so they'll eat just about whatever you put in front of them.
But adopting isn't the only way to help. With many dogs to feed, walk, and look after, the shelter says they could always use an extra hand. A group of students at Elon is working to promote awareness, volunteers, and fundraising for the kennel. Drew Hancherik is working on the campaign and met some of the dogs in class.
You know, they weren't like running around the classroom, like making a mess. They kind of came up and like they'd nuzzle you, like kind of bump into you just to say hey.
Hancherik says helping out at the shelter is a great alternative way to volunteer.
Well, Dixie!
That is, if you don't mind dog kisses. Sophie Nielsen Colding, Phoenix 14 News.
The kennel adopts around 250 dogs every year. For more information on Greyhound Friends of North Carolina, you can visit their website.
Piles of work can cause headaches, but if you have any Tylenol, you won't want to take it. Tylenol 8-hour extended release was recalled due to a bad smell in the bottle, but you won't lose money either. For more information about a rebate, visit www.tylenol.com. Saturday morning, some students got up early to run around South Campus for the Duo Dash. The race was an event hosted by Campus Recreation. Teams of 2 ran around the obstacle filled course. The obstacles included running through a set of tires, a 3-legged sack race, and at the very end, a slip and slide.
Japan is still recovering after the March 14th earthquake and tsunami. Here at Elon, those with connections to the Japanese community have come together. Nicole Chadwick spoke with them about their fundraising efforts despite the distance.
It made me feel horrible that I'm away from Japan. I'm here having everything.
Elon professor Yumika Araki is from Japan, and when she heard about the earthquake, she was devastated.
I just felt that I was helpless.
And not being with her loved ones, she is still coping.
I guess they're as scared as I am. Or I'm more scared, actually.
And she shared this fear with the 5 Japanese students at Elon.
Instead of just talking about how horrible it was, we were like discussing what we can do.
With no institutionalized support from the university, Araki and the students quickly pulled together anything they could to begin the fundraiser.
Thank you. With shoe boxes and printer paper signs, the students have already managed to raise over $1,000 for Japan Red Cross.
We wanted to do something here to show that we care.
Students have been in Mosley 3 days a week asking for donations.
What really matters right now is the aftermath. Like, how is the people going to get funds for survival?
And Araki is proud of the progress so far.
We're still in the middle of it. But at this point, I think I'm very impressed that a lot of people have contributed.
The Japan fundraiser will continue for the next 2 weeks. Nicole Chadwick, Phoenix 14 News Tonight.
Still Phoenix 14, a prom experience fit for a princess. How Elon students made this night memorable for these local prom goers. That's coming up after the break.
You'll be hearing new sounds and songs around campus next fall. Vital Signs is the newest addition to Elon's a cappella groups. The co-ed group just held their first auditions and now has 15 members. Freshmen Atavi Parmesan and Lexi Stone started the new team. They're planning their first performance in the fall.
Prom is supposed to be a night to remember, but some high school girls have trouble affording the perfect dress. Some Elon students made sure that this year every girl would have a great prom experience. Our Don Grenese has more.
She's been waiting for this day her whole life. No, we're not talking about her wedding day. High school junior Kiara Wiley is preparing for prom.
I'm glad that somebody actually decided to do something for the girls that's less fortunate than others.
Wiley is one of about 30 girls that attended Saturday's Cinderella Project. These girls may not be able to afford the dress of their dream, but this project makes sure they find one free of charge.
It's kind of not my style, but
Elon's Zeta Phi Beta sorority hosted the event.
This project is just another tool that can help me fuel my passion and help people that I need. And it's also an opportunity to get my sorority involved in the community and help other students other than those at Elon.
Representatives from companies like Avon, Sephora, and Mary Kay donated sample bags of makeup and perfume.
this do smell good.
The main attraction was the Cinderella Boutique, where all of the dresses were on display.
Here at Cummings High School, the girls got to look at over 100 different dresses that were donated by the Elon community, until they found the perfect one.
For some of the girls like Kiara, it took them some time to find the right dress.
Not just yet, I'm still looking.
Some girls found what they wanted almost immediately.
I think it's awesome because it's like a Greek style. I've never seen a dress like this.
Every girl left with a dress, some makeup, and new jewelry. For these girls, those simple items were like gifts from their fairy godmothers that will allow them a night of true Cinderella magic. Don Gurnice, Phoenix 14 News.
This was the first Cinderella project that Simeona organized, and they hope to host an even bigger event one next year.
Gas prices are hovering just above the $3.50 mark. Where to fill up for less in Pump Patrol? The cheapest place to fill up is the Citgo on South Church Street. Regular is $3.54.
The Shell right across the street is at $3.57, but Kangaroo on Haggard is the most expensive, with regular at $3.61.
Elon's softball team had a big conference series at home this weekend against Tennessee Chattanooga. I'll have highlights for you next in sports. Hello once again, welcome to Phoenix 14 Sports. I'm Steve Roth, and here's what's going on. The spring football game is quickly approaching. Players have been practicing since early March, but some of last year's stars aren't on the field. I had the opportunity to sit down with one of them who is looking forward to continuing his football career. As spring football practice is now in full force, one player in particular is noticeably absent. Scott Riddle was the starting quarterback for the past 4 years, but his college career finished in November. But that doesn't mean he's done playing football.
For the first month or two, I was trying to rehab my shoulder because it was a little dinged up from Chattanooga game. Then, basically just started working out and training for the upcoming, the draft or, free agency deals and all that.
Riddle now turns his attention over to the near future, which includes his lifetime goal.
As a kid, I always, I kind of timed it up. I said I want to play in the Super Bowl 50. Realistically, I would just like to make a team or get invited. If I get invited, get a chance to make a team. That's more realistic.
Former Elon wide receiver Terrell Hudgens trained with the Dallas Cowboys and then played for the Chicago Rush. Riddle looks to Hudgens for inspiration.
Yeah, of course it motivates me. I want to get the chances that he's been able to receive. Having a guy that, you can look up to and, kind of follow and, his footsteps is great.
Riddle is excited for the future, but one thing he'll miss the most.
May never see any of these guys again or, coaches I've played for and that type thing. And, I'll miss that for sure.
Steve Roth, Phoenix 14 News. Scott Riddle finished his career at Elon with all-time Southern Conference records in completions, passing yards, and passing touchdowns. Football is in the offseason, but tennis is in full swing. The men's tennis team, which only won 6 conference games last year, has made quite a turnaround this season. They've already matched that total in their first 6 games this season. They defeated the Citadel on Saturday and Furman on Sunday. The Elon Phoenix baseball team postponed their Wednesday game against East Carolina due to rain. The makeup date is this upcoming Wednesday. The weather held up over the weekend, though, as Elon traveled to Greensboro to take on UNCG. Elon ended up losing their first conference series of the year after UNCG took 2 of the 3 games. Elon is now 9-3 in the Southern Conference. We now check in with Elon softball. Senior third baseman Caitlin McGowan gave us an update this past week on how the team has been doing this season.
We started off the season really strong. We had a few tournaments at home, and then we went away for a while. We had a little slump for a little bit. But then we went to Charleston and we won the series there against Charleston Southern over spring break. So our morale is good, our confidence is good. We're excited to be home this weekend against Chat. Excited for the next series in conference play, and we're working really hard, sticking to what we do, sticking to our goals of being confident players and having a good mentality, and putting forth our best effort every day.
That series against Chattanooga began on Friday. It was a very windy day at Elon for the opener. The Phoenix were looking to gain some ground in the conference, but got hurt by a couple of big home runs you'll see here in just a second. This first home run comes down to the right of the scoreboard and gives Chattanooga a 3-0 lead. Elon did their best in the field to keep the game close, as you can see them get a catch in just a second here. But they also had their share of mistakes, as one is about to drop through 2 Elon players right there. They ended up losing game 1, 5-7. Elon would finish the weekend on the wrong side of a sweep, as their conference record now sits at 2-7. Coming up this week in sports, the softball team remains at home to take on Georgia Southern over the weekend with a Saturday doubleheader starting at 1 p.m. The baseball team hosts Old Dominion tomorrow at 6 o'clock and welcomes Wofford to Latham Park over the weekend, beginning with a 6:30 first pitch on Friday. Men's tennis plays their next home game against Wofford on Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Steve. That's all we have for this week's Phoenix 14 News. Continue to follow what's going on across campus this week on our website at phoenix14news.wordpress.com.
And make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook for breaking news updates as the week goes along. I'm Jasmine Spencer.
And I'm Mallory Lane. Have a fantastic week, Elon.